Cheers, Ross. Welcome to Wembley, which is just clouded over for a little while as the teams come out, and we're going to stand now as the national anthem is played ahead of this National League playoff final. Good rendition there of God Save the Queen. The two teams are out in front of us, so I'll go through both lineups for you. AFC Fylde, who are in yellow shirts with black stripes down the front, black shorts and yellow socks, will line up with Lynch in goal, Francis, Angle, Byrne, Tunnicliffe and Burke across the back, Bradley, Bond, Crosdale and Phyllis Kirk in midfield, Rowe and Reed up front. Their manager, of course, Dave Challoner, well known to those who watched Tranmere Rovers when they were successful in the late 90s. He of the very, very long throw. As for Graham Alexander, career that spanned over 1,000 games as a player, the Scottish international played for the likes of Preston North End and won a playoff final here with Burnley. I seem to remember that they line up Salford City without their top scorer today, Adam Rooney. He's not made it because of a hamstring injury, and also their second top scorer, Rory Gaffney, is only on the bench. So they line up then with Neil in goal, a back four of Hogan, Piergiani, Toure and Wiseman, Whitehead, Redmond with Fata and Maynard in midfield, Diasueri and Nathan Pond is a makeshift striker. Nathan Pond, I've only ever known him really play as a centre half, so it must be unbelievable that he's playing up front today.
We'll have to wait and see how they line up. What do they do with no Adam Rooney? That is the question. It's a very, very difficult situation for them, because you don't want to be losing the guy that scored 21 goals for you this season. It's a real hammer blow for Salford City ahead of kick-off. I think they've been playing three at the back for much of this campaign, Salford City, so I wouldn't be sold on that definitely happening. We'll find out soon enough, but I can't imagine how nervous these two sets of players are. They've worked so hard to get to this position. They do not want to blow it now. It's one big performance and they can get their club into the EFL for the first time in their history. It is such a big carrot.
Absolutely. Salford wearing red shirts, white shorts and white socks. The class of 94 are said to be here today. Certainly David Becker, I'm told, is here. I know that Ryan Giggs is here today, and Paul Scholes and Gary Neville as well. Would that be any more pressure on Salford or not?
No, they're not worried about who's in the stands. They know who the owners are. They know that they care. They know that they want to impress them. But ultimately, they're not playing for David Beckham. They're not playing for Paul Scholes. They're playing for themselves.
No, but if you're a midfielder, let's say you get the ball and you think to yourself, right, and then you do a pass and it doesn't come off. Would you look up and think, oh, there's Paul Scholes? He'd have done that.
When you're commentating, do you think, oh, I wonder what John Watson might have thought of that, or Martin Tyler? No, exactly. So
they're not both learn from me. I'm joking. I'd like to be as good as them. No. What about Dave Challoner? I mean, he's had a knee operation. He's in agony down there. I spoke to him earlier. He's limping around. He didn't want to put off his knee operation.
Yeah. Well, it's a big game for him, and he's done a great job, hasn't he, with AFC Fylde. He's been in the job since 2011. Dave Challoner, I spoke to him this morning on Weekend Sports Day, and he was very relaxed, I've got to say, quite chilled out. If he can transmit that energy to his players, I think that would be a real positive. You don't want to be too relaxed, of course, but you don't want to be tight and tense, and he certainly was when I spoke to him early on.
Was he really tight? Was he really tight, wasn't he? Salford have got us underway here live on Talksport to a massive day of football for you. We've already heard about Aston Villa's win in the playoffs against West Bromwich Albion. We'll be bringing you live commentary of Portsmouth up at Sunderland later here on Talksport 2, and in between times over on Talksport Derby and Leeds as well. So it's a massive day of football on your football station Talksport and Talksport 2, and at the moment we're just waiting for the game really to burst into any life, because the ball's over on the far side with Fylde. It's inside their own half, probably about 10 yards from the halfway line. Played forward now, and certainly there's only one player forward for Fylde, but it's inside the penalty area. If he can get the ball across, he can. It's very nearly squeezed in at the far post by Reed, who, I tell you what, took a heck of a crash against the post.
That was a tremendous piece of play. It was an up, back and through from AFC Fylde into the centre forward, drops it back, and then the runner was
Reed, but it smacked into the post.
It was very close to getting the end of it. Dan Bradley, it was on the left hand side. He's just drilled it across the face of goal. Technically an excellent cross, and very close was Reed to getting on the end of it. Wonderful start from Fylde.
It's a bit Gazza-like, really. He was sliding in. It was at the same end actually as the England-Germany Euro 96 semi-final here at Wembley. He was sliding in, but he couldn't reach it. And what really I was worried about was he slammed into the post, but he did pick himself up and straight away got back on his feet, which is good. Now there's some possession finally for Salford City in their red shirts, which are blending in very nicely on that far side with all the red seats of Wembley. There's around about 8,000 here today, but nobody over on that far side, and the ball is currently with Salford City by the edge of the penalty area. Need to get the cross in. They do. It's easily cleared though by Byrne, and then hoisted up towards the halfway line. Bradley can't get on the end of it, and once again it's picked up this time. Mafuta now plays it out towards the near side, and Wiseman, who plays the ball forward towards Pond, who looks like he is playing as a...
No, Pond's definitely at the back. He's playing at the heart of a back three here. Here he is on the possession now, number 23.
There's no way he could play. We were told he was playing as a striker, but there was no way that could possibly be.
No, they've been playing for a back three, Salford, and he's the guy in the centre of that. Basically, they've tweaked the system. Obviously, no leading scorer here, Adam Rooney, this afternoon. So they've gone with one up front. It's De Serva up front. So it's a 3-5-1-1 of sorts. Looks to me as if it's Whitehead that's in behind the main striker, Philiskirk as well. So no, it's a change of system for Graham Alexander, and needs must really when you lose your leading hitman, you just have to adapt.
Absolutely. Here's Fylde now, just inside the Salford half. We've been playing for very nearly 3 minutes. It's still 0-0 here on Talksport 2, and Fylde have certainly had more of the ball. They've always nice, I think, in a final for a team to get a feel of the ball early on and get a feel for the surroundings, and certainly Fylde have done that. Possession has pretty much been all theirs, bar one sort of moment when Salford have gone forward, and every time they do get the ball and they clear it up towards the lone man up front, they really are struggling to get people in support of him. They're now trying to get over the halfway line on this near side, which they managed to do. It's played forward down the left hand side, back towards Hogan. He needs to get the ball into the middle if he can. It's not a great cross. It's stooped and headed away. I think the clearance could have easily been with his feet by Byrne, but he stooped and headed away. Wiseman nods the header down again. And Salford City now have a chance to just get their foot on the ball and just get a feel for what's happening in the game. They're about 10 yards outside the penalty area on that far right hand side. They want to throw a...
Yeah, Scott Wiseman playing at right wing back, vastly experienced player. He's played for a number of clubs in the EFL. It'll be a good outlet for them on the right-hand side. Now, I do know that Salford have got two long throw specialists. Of course, the manager of AFC Fylde was famous for having the long throw, but it is Salford that have the best exponents here, and we're going to see one now.
Yeah, Liam Hogan has got the ball. It's a decent throw. It's about 5 yards inside the penalty area. It's headed away easily enough on the near side, and Fylde will come away towards us. They're attacking the... goal away to our right hand side as we look from the tunnel end at Wembley, and the ball is played low towards the edge of the penalty. Reed takes it on, very nearly got a shot away. It was a decent ball in as well from Burke on his near side, but some decent defending. Burke picks it up again though for Fylde. It's again with them about 25-30 yards out from goal. Central position. Crockdale losing possession though fairly easily in the end, and the ball is brought away once again by Salford City, played infield by Toure. Now helped out towards the right hand side, and Wiseman plays it down the line towards the edge of the penalty area. Disarue holds the ball up, waits for some assistance. The assistance comes from Wiseman again. It's a low ball in, easily cleared, and now AFC Fylde could break. If they could have broken there, it would have been 3 against 3, but in the end it was one back by Salford City. Now they're on the front foot, shot from distance, cannons off a Fylde defender out towards the near side, put out a play for a throw.
Yeah, no, good spell from Salford City. Real captain's tackle there from Liam Hogan as Fylde looked to counter-attack on them.
It's an important one as well.
He flung himself into the 50-50, came out on top. It's Devontae Redmond who's just playing in behind the main striker, De Serva, and he's an interesting player. He played for the youth team at Manchester United, Devontae Redmond, really talented boy, and I know that Marcus Rashford was playing in his age group, and he famously said at the time, they sort of had to fill out forms at the end of their spell in the academy and say, who do you think's going to make it? And he said Devontae Redmond. He's got everything, and it just hasn't quite worked out for him. Obviously, it didn't work out for him at Manchester United, but he's found a home at Salford City, and he might just be a key man for them today.
Might well be a key man. You're not missing anything because one of the Fylde players is down. Just tweaked looks like he might have tweaked a hamstring. Actually, it looks in quite a bad way on this near side. I was here last year for the final between Tranmere Rovers and Boreham Wood, and after 30 seconds or 40 seconds, Tranmere had a man sent off.
Remember it, yeah.
And they went on to win 2-1. James Norwood scored twice, and for all that it looked in the world, it completely threw Boreham Wood the fact they were playing with 10 men. Now I wonder whether or not this looks like it might be an injury which will force Fylde into a change, and it can work two ways. It can work in their favour, or it could work in the favour of Salford City.
Yeah, I feel really sorry here is it Luke Burke that's down at the moment. He started the game really brightly, the right back for
limping
AFC
off, but he looks like at the moment there's no sub being prepared.
He definitely was feeling the back of his hamstring. Now when a player does that, ordinarily you think it's a muscle pull, and if it's a muscle pull then you can't carry on, but he's determined to give it a go.
Throw on the near side was a short one, back to Toure, who tries to get the ball in. It cannons off a defender, goes out to play for another throw just closer to the corner flag. By the way, it's Ibu Toure, not Yaya or imagine if Yaya Toure was playing in a National League final.
Well, Ibu Toure is the other player.
Phil Neville's here as well.
Yeah. Oh, all the big guns are here today.
They are.
Yeah, Ibu Toure with the long throw. So they've got specialists on either side.
They have the long throw is much better. This one right in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Out to the edge here. Shot from distance, only just wide of Jay Lynch's goal. I think Lynch may have had it covered. He was certainly diving from an early stage away to his right-hand side. It was Wiseman with a fizzing low drive. It didn't miss by much, Aid.
What a hit that was from Scott Wiseman. The long throw caused problems. It was clear it was headed away, but straight to Wiseman on the edge of the box. Hits it first time and he drills it. The technique is outstanding. He's 25 yards out. It's a skimmer off the turf. It's just a whisper away.
Absolutely. Some defending for Salford to do as they try and get the ball up towards the halfway line, and at the back, Pons missed the challenge as he is a foul. The referee is going to produce the first yellow card of the game for Nathan Pond. He looked in all sorts of trouble actually when the ball was played forward. There was no question of it being any more than the yellow card. There were other defenders a long way around him, but this is 25 yards out, and if you're looking at it, it is just right of centre and the first really big opportunity. But Pond did look in trouble there when Bradley went past.
It's a really clumsy challenge, wasn't he? He was stretching for it. It's Dan Bradley that nips in front of Nathan Pond.
Could you let him just go?
Oh, you can't just let someone go. He's bearing down on goal. He's just outside the D. It's a nailed-on yellow card, and absolutely a free kick. And I think Fylde would be frustrated because he was in there, wasn't he, Dan Bradley? But Danny Rowe, he loves a shot from anywhere inside the final third. We know all about his goal record. He's the only man over this. There's no other option for AFC Fylde. It's the main man, Danny Rowe. He's going to lump this as hard as he can. It's definitely within shooting range. 4
in the wall, 25 yards out. 9 minutes gone. Fylde 0, Salford City 0. The National League playoff final here live on Talksport 2, and this is the first really big moment of the game. It's a dangerous free kick in a dangerous area. Rowe right-footed with a shot. We're giving all the big build-up. It slams straight into the wall. Rowe goes and picks it up 30 yards out, left-hand side, and now Fylde tries to get inside the penalty area again, which they do on that far side, but they're held up with some decent defending, and Salford City will clear their lines. What a disappointing free kick.
Yeah, it was a shame. He just went for power rather than precision, Danny Rowe, and he's drilled it right into the wall. From the follow-up, they had a good opportunity to deliver a ball into the box, but again, it was the captain, Liam Hogan, made a good challenge.
I never played the game, but what I don't understand is how you can practice all week. They practice and practice and practice and practice, and when it comes to match day, you slam it into the wall.
Football, it isn't golf. There's a lot of variables.
I know it's not golf.
No, exactly, but it's a different technique. You've got bodies in the way that are jumping, that trying to put you off. I know what you're saying, but
it's like a corner that hits the first man. It's so infuriating.
It is, yeah. But
absolutely. Here's Salford City now down the right-hand side inside the penalty area. Decent turn. Ball laid back to the edge of the penalty area, and just leaning back, really, it was slammed over the top of the crossbar from about 15-16 yards out. Another decent opportunity in the end, but I do feel that Salford will ruined the fact that didn't even test the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was Redmond that tees up Whitehead in the end. He started the game well. It's a lovely little run into the box. He gets into a great position, little trick, holds it up for Whitehead, who's leaning back, isn't he, as he strikes the ball, and it goes high over the crossbar. But look, even game, chances at both ends of the pitch. It's shaping up nicely.
Best chance was filed so far was early doors with Reed, who just couldn't stretch to steer the ball home inside the 6-yard box, and certainly a couple of chances for Salford City. A shot from Wiseman for 25 yards that only just went wide, and that effort from Whitehead, which didn't test the goalkeeper, never looked like it. News on Bradley, by the way, he's back on the pitch and looks to be moving okay for the moment, so I'm not sure, but they are still warming up some subs. AFC Fylde. Dave Challoner down there, I can see, is just hobbling towards the bench on this near side. Graham Alexander in black trousers and a grey jumper, looks very, very smart. His family here today watching, Dave Challoner's family here. I mean, the managers as well. This is a massive day. I mean, Graham has managed in the Football League before.
Yeah. It's a career-defining day, isn't it? You take any club into the EFL from non-league football, you go into club folklore, don't you? It's a historic day. One of these sides will make it into the 92 for the first time in their history. And the opportunity to be the gaffer that takes them there is such a precious one. Can they get the tactics right? So far, I think it's been a very even game. Hasn't been as cagey as I would have expected, given the occasion. Quite an open contest, which is great for us neutrals.
Yeah, normally these finals can be very cagey. Bradley has it near side on the halfway line. Tries to play it forward, but just can't get it right. No chance really for Bond to keep it in play. And it goes out. By the way, have I got some lines ready for if Bond scores?
But yeah, I've seen him play actually. Andy Bond, the number 6 for AFC Fylde, central midfielder. I did a commentary with Ian Dancer last year in the FA Cup, and they gave Wigan a real run for their money that night. It was a terrific performance, and Andy Bond was excellent, along with Danny Rowe. So they've got ability in this team.
I was speaking to Dave Chandler before the game about Bond. I was dying for him, so giving him a licence to thrill today. Sometimes managers play ball with you and come out with a great line like that. Sometimes they don't. Ball on the near side, by the way, played for by Salford City, but Diasarue got a bit of a knock in the back, and it will be a free kick on the near side. It's about, I would say, 10 yards in from the touchline, and probably a similar distance from the edge of the penalty area as we approach the 14-minute mark here. Salford City 0, AFC Fylde 0. Fair play to the fans that have travelled down from the northwest today, because it can never be an easy journey, M6, M1 down to Wembley, but they've come in about, I'd say, 8,000-9,000. We'll get the official
attendance. They're making as much noise as they can, aren't they? In good spirits. We're at the Salford end, Salford side of the ground, and they're singing away as we speak.
Free kick on the near side taken by Redmond. Redmond plays it in. Not the greatest. It was quite low. Not dealt with. Chance for Salford City, and they're in front. Diasarue picked up on the ball. It wasn't the greatest free kick from Redmond, but they did it, and they dallied in the Fylde defence, and Diasarue was alerted off to pounce and put it beyond Jay Lynch, and with quarter of an hour gone at Wembley, the dream is alive for the class of 92, and Salford City is Fylde 0, Salford City 1.
Yeah, it's deadly from Diasarue. It really is. The free kick isn't great. There's a shout for offside. I think he's just about level. They make a real hash of it.
I think he's level. Near side, there might have been a better shout against Piergiani being offside, but he was never interfering with play.
But once the ricochet occurs, it comes off 2 Fylde players. It's Burke, the player that was down injured a moment or two ago. It runs to Diasarue, and he just stays calm, cool as you like, just passes it into the bottom corner. He's only 6 yards out, 7 yards out, but it's a lovely little finish.
I'm dying to ask you, as someone who's played the game, and I haven't, and we'll just wait. This is now broken up by Fylde. I'm dying to ask.
You've not played the game.
Yeah, I know. I'm dying to ask you, right? I often think if you give Diasarue more time there, he's probably going to miss. He hasn't got any time there. It's instinctive. Is that right? Generally, if you're in front of goal and you don't have time to think about what you're doing, you're more likely to score.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it depends on the individual, but all of those hours on the training pitch, practicing drills, instinctive finishing, one-touch finish. You do it over and over again. It becomes a habit. And as soon as that ball fell to him, he just thought, he's played that shot thousands of times. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Ball on the far side now as Salford in the sunshine here at Wembley. Maybe try and send a second goal here. Remember, they're without their top scorer, Adam Rooney, and they're without Rory Gaffney, who's their second top scorer on the bench. So it's very much a makeshift team. By the way, what will both the managers be thinking now?
Well, I mean, Graham Alexander will be delighted, obviously, to be ahead. Diasarue is doing a good job. He's playing that lone furrow at the moment. Obviously, no Adam Rooney, pulled out of the game on the day, wasn't pass fit, hammer blow. They like to play with two up top, but he's doing that job on his own, and he's a battering ram at the moment. He's won free kick. He won the free kick, remember. He was the guy that looked to play a flick on. He was fouled, and from there they score. For AFC Fylde, I think the message from Challoner will be don't panic. They say you've started the game well, you've created chances, you will get opportunities in this match, so don't press the panic button. Absolutely, and that's what Fylde mustn't do here, is they mustn't now get down on themselves. The fact that they've gone a goal behind. Live here on Talksport 2. Remember, Talksport Network is your home for the EFL playoffs as well. You've already heard today Aston Villa with a 2-1 lead to take to the Hawthorns on Tuesday in the Championship playoff semi-final first leg, and Derby leads to come from Pride Park later. Very nearly said the baseball ground. Old habits die hard. And then, of course, live here on Talksport 2. When we're finished, Russ will then take you to the Stadium of Light, Sunderland and Portsmouth, who, by the way, packed out this place a month ago for the EFL Trophy final. It really was unbelievable, that occasion. I was here for that one as well. Not quite so many people here today, but this matters as much as Diasarue now tries to get something going in midfield, but the ball's too far ahead of him, and will go out of play. And I think Salford are doing the right thing at the moment. They've got their foot on the opponent and trying to stamp it down. Yeah, no, they're in the ascendancy and they're looking for goal number 2. It's a 3-4-2-1 formation, I'd suggest. You've got you got Whitehead and Devontae Redmond playing in behind the goal scorer Diasarue, and it's working really well. And I don't think at the moment Fylde have got to grips with those two guys in behind the main centre forward. They're getting a lot of space, the attacking midfielders, and they're causing problems. Fylde make a change in a minute, but Nick Horton will come on. So I think the injury that Burke has suffered is going to end his afternoon, but it looked like a hamstring injury, didn't it? Yeah, he's limping. You can see he's not right. Yeah, so Horton's stripped and ready to come on. You're listening to Talksport 2, where Salford City at the moment are heading for the Football League. Never been there before, either of these two clubs. So whatever happens today, we're getting somebody new in League 2 next season, and that's all. For me, I always get excited when there are lots of former Football League clubs in the National League. I mean, we've seen Leyton Orient win the title this season. They were pushed all the way by Solihull Moors, by Salford City, by Fylde. But I always get excited when we get somebody new coming into the Football League, Aid. Yeah, me too. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic, and I think it'd be a great story whichever team prevails here this afternoon. But at the moment it looks like Salford City, and they're going to get a lot of publicity, aren't they, in League 2 should they go up. And of course, Paul Scholes, he didn't give up that ownership, that part share he's got in the club while he was Oldham boss, and I guess if they do go up, we'd be glad that he didn't sell those shares, because he'll no doubt be looking to continue his relationship with the club in the EFL. Had he stayed on Oldham, I don't think he would have been able to stay involved with Salford. Anyway, the change has been made now, so Luke Burke's afternoon has come to an end, and Nick Horton is the man who has come on for him. And it looks like a tactical change as well. Andy Bond has come to the right hand side. I don't know if he's going to play right back, but Nick Horton has gone to a left midfield position, so it's definitely not only a change in personnel, but a change in shape and positions too. It's now quite a sunny afternoon at Wembley. Weather can't really make up its mind this afternoon. Sunshine or showers. Very bright yellow shirts that AFC Fylde are wearing. They're currently on the halfway line, just on this near side of the field. That's the right hand side as they attack, and Bond plays the ball forward as we speak. Picked up now by Reed, who hasn't really been in the game since the opening minute when he had a great chance to score. Rowe spreads play out towards the far side now. It's the left-hand side as Fylde attack. They're still some way out from goal, the best part of 30-35 yards. They now move towards the edge of the penalty area. Again, a driven ball across, very similar to in the early stages of the match, but this time it was behind the strikers, and a real chance now for
Salford City with Whitehead to come down this left-hand side. He drifts in field onto his right foot. Now, I suppose a short pass, and it wasn't the greatest pass. He played his teammate into trouble, and straight away Fylde do indeed win the ball back on the halfway line, and now perhaps they have a chance to break. It's all very intricate though in the centre of the field. Not a great deal of width. The ball is driven in low. It was from a fail way out by Reed in the end. I mean, he was a bit greedy there, 35 yards out. Took a nick off Reed. Initially off Rowe, took a nick off Reed, but easy enough for Chris Neal. Could have been dangerous.
Yeah, look, Danny Rowe, having watched him before, this guy will shoot from anywhere.
Why?
He got a rocket shot, that's why. He's a real Roy of the Rovers type character for AFC Fylde, and he's got a record of scoring from range. Don't worry about that. On this occasion, he didn't he didn't catch it particularly well. I think Lois Maynard was a relief man. He got caught dawdling on the ball inside the sort of defensive third. To
be fair though, he was given what we call in the trade a hospital pass.
He was, I suppose. Yeah.
He had not much chance with it. Fylde have it on the far side in the sunshine. The sunshine is 3/4 covering the pitch. The only quarter that hasn't got the sun is the one defended by the Salford goalkeeper Chris Neal, but the ball is a long way from him at the moment. In fact, Bond can't keep it in play, and it goes out of play on the near side. Salford City fans trying to encourage their team, and doing a pretty good job at the moment.
Oh yeah, fantastic atmosphere around us. All the supporters from Salford City on their feet, waving their flags.
Salford Ultras are here.
Yeah, they are the Ultras behind the goal there. It's, they filled up very quickly, didn't it, before kick-off? It looked very empty ahead of the formalities, but Salford City are probably just shading it in terms of the support here this afternoon, and they're certainly shading it on the pitch as well.
At one stage I was going to ring your mates, see if they'd come round and provide a crowd.
they're doing the club proud at the moment. They're creating plenty of noise, and I think that Graham Alexander will be thrilled with the way his players have settled into this contest.
Certainly will. Throw on the near side by Toure, level with the edge of the penalty area down the left-hand side. Back to him. Now he plays the ball in towards Redmond. Can he get the cross in? It's forced out towards the near side for yet another Salford City throw. But all the time that Salford City had the ball in that sort of area of the pitch, they're asking all the questions as we approach the midway point in the first half. Fylde 0, Salford City 1 on Talksport 2. Saturday afternoon live football for you as the ball is flung into the 6-yard box. Again, not properly cleared. The ball this time is over the top of the crossbar, but you have to say, in fact, it's took a nick for a corner. Some of the defending by Fylde looks really nervy.
Yeah, it has. They're not handling the long throws at all. It's not a surprise. So they've played obviously twice already this season. They know all about Salford City's danger from these kind of situations, but we've seen 2 or 3 players jumping for the same ball. They're not communicating, whether the noise, the occasions getting to them. I'm not sure. Pierre Gianni it was that looked to volley that one towards goal. It takes a deflection out for a corner.
Not keen on his ponytail.
Pierre Gianni, 9 goals, centre half.
I know.
I mean, he's a real danger man. He is the highest scoring Salford City player on the pitch.
I know, but I can't be doing his ponytail.
No, it's not the best.
It's not the best, is it? It's not really enough hair for a ponytail. In it goes! He gets the header as well inside the 6-yard box, and actually it's just gone behind from Nathan Pond from about 3 yards out. Pond actually should score.
Oh, he really should score. This is a gilt-edged opportunity for Salford City to make it 2-0. It's a free header. 3 or 4 yards out. It's an in-swinging corner. He gets the jump on his man. Was it a foul or not?
Found his man or not?
I think it was a foul personally, but the referee didn't give it. And I think that's a big miss from Nathan Pond. He's climbing all over the defender. Surely that would have been disallowed. Pond
the winner here with Fleetwood when Graham Alexander was manager. I remember he's on a yellow card as well this afternoon, so he needs to be really careful. With 2-0, what sort of mountain to climb would that have given Fylde?
Well, yeah, it's a big.
But I haven't seen this week's Champions League football. Nothing really.
No, 3-0 is the most dangerous scoreline in world football at the moment, isn't it? So, yeah, there's absolutely no way that Fylde will be giving up on this. Not with the carrot of EFL status on the line here today. They got plenty of time and they've got firepower, AFC Fylde. So long way to go. If anything, I think that Salford City need to capitalise on this good patch. They're certainly in the ascendancy. They've been the better side so far.
Does make me laugh in this day and age of modern technology. We've all, maybe not everybody listening this afternoon has got a mobile phone and a smartphone and an iPad, but Graham Alexander is still writing things down with a pen and paper. I mean, Thought pen and paper went out with the Flintstones.
It's just easier. I think I would be a pen and paper.
Would you?
Man. Yeah.
I'd be down on the iPad.
It's a bit, I don't know. It's a bit fiddly for me. I've still not quite got my head around the tablet side of things. But yeah, look. Quite what he's jotting down, I'm not sure, but it's just little pointers. I'll
explain satellite television to you later. Couldn't believe when he said he was still videoing things. Anyway, here comes Fylde now. More importantly, 25 yards out from goal, a shot which is a cross goal. It was never really going to trouble Chris Neal in the Salford City goal. It was a decent strike, I suppose, by Dan Bradley, and some sort of intent finally from Fylde, because last 5 minutes, last 10 minutes really since the goal, they've not really looked like threatening.
No, they haven't. I think the body language of the Fylde players is quite telling. I don't think they're there looking particularly happy with how this match has started. The shoulders are slumped, not a lot of communication. Of course, they're only one kneel down. They've lost a player. Yeah, it would, and I think he'll get into them at half time, tell them not to feel sorry for themselves. So I think there might be an element of that at the moment, but it is absolutely vital that they stay in this game.
Absolutely, but they've got the ball back now in the centre circle. Now it's just to the left hand side of that, and there's 4 players in advanced positions for Fylde as the ball is worked out towards the left-hand side. Another chance maybe to get to the byline and get the cross in. Decent cross as well. It's headed away by Hogan initially from around about 10 yards out. Now it comes to you-know-who to fire over the top. He really does shoot from anywhere, doesn't he, Ro? Actually, it reminds me when I was a kid, and we always had someone who always just was so greedy, and they shot every time. You sort of thought, all right, you might score like 1 in 10, but they have a 9 and one might pass to a mate.
Yeah, look, it can be irritating for other players, I'm sure, but he's the talisman. I mean,
I know, but he's not nowhere near the goal.
Not so far, but there's a reason. He is the reason they're here, really. I mean, you look at the goal tally, 27 goals in 45 matches in the league this season. The next highest, 6. So I think he's earned the right to have a shot.
Every single time. Although there is the theory in football that if you don't enter the lottery, you're not going to win. So therefore, I suppose.
And what is noticeable, no one's having a pop at him. No one's going, what you doing, Danny?
That's true.
So look, they know what he's about.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. If we're still here on 90 minutes and they're losing, and he's still having pot shots from all parts of the London Borough of Brent, I'll have a go at you. Here he is again from 25 yards. This time it does produce a save from Neal away to his right hand side. That was much better by Danny Rowe. It was again around about 25 yards out. It was a much better effort, and also the save was pretty good from Neal as well.
Yeah.
Neal hasn't had much to do in the first half hour, and concentration, I think, for goalkeepers is everything. Corner on the far side for AFC Fylde. We'll get your take on that save in a minute, whether it was a decent one or whether it was a relatively straightforward one. Again, Fylde do manage to keep the ball in that corner.
Yeah, another corner. It was Crowsdale actually that had the shot. It was a real skimmer, and he pushed it wide to the goalkeeper. It's a regulation save from Chris Neal, very experienced keeper. I think we've got 2 excellent non-league keepers here that are both vastly experienced, and they've played a big part in the club's making it this far. The keepers are not going to be easy to beat this afternoon.
No, they're not. Ball played towards Rhodesmith and goes over. Listen, I saw last week here with the Women's FA Cup final, one goalkeeper had a blinder, the other one didn't have the greatest game in the world. We saw Karius last year in the Champions League final. You know, Wembley especially, though, can bring the best out of a goalkeeper or kill the confidence.
Yeah, of course.
The Bournemouth keeper last season here was fantastic throughout the season, and again didn't cover himself in glory. It happens.
We're all human, and the nerves can get the better of us on occasion. And I was here that night, that famous night, Wally and the Brolly night. Scott Carson didn't. No. He had a howler, didn't he? So it can happen, but look, I'm not seeing too many signs of players being really nervous here. I think everyone is giving a decent account of themselves. What was interesting there was Danny Rowe taking the corner, little short corner, a little bit Harry Kane style from the Euros there. He kind of does everything for them, doesn't he?
Absolutely. Maybe he drives the bus home as well. We'll have to wait and see. Is Whitehead coming forward for Salford. Doesn't come forward for 2 or 3 minutes now, so they'll enjoy some time inside the Fylde half. Played out towards the right hand side as we hit right on the half-hour mark. Fylde 0, Salford City 1. Diasarue with a goal inside the penalty area, inside the 6-yard box on 15 minutes. Putting Salford in front live here on Talksport 2. Talksport Network, your home of football. Aston Villa, you heard earlier, beat West Brom 2-1. Still Derby leads, and Sunderland Portsmouth to come after we find out who the newest team in the Football League will be. At the moment, Salford City are in the ascendancy, but Fylde have the ball through row on the halfway line. Played out towards the near side of the field. Here's Bond, who's just coming after hugging the touchline. Crosdale. I think Fylde probably need to just pass the ball around a little bit. They need to get a feel for get themselves back in the game. Substitute Horton on the edge of the penalty area onto his left foot. Tried a shot which was blocked in the end. Piergiani is the man who got in the way of that one, and Salford will clear the ball, but it barely goes inside the AFC Fylde half, and they'll once again come through that far side with Francis Angle. Once again played into the middle of the park, some 40 yards out. Now it's played from left to right. Here's Bond. Again, comes in off the touchline, plays it through the middle. Now goes for a turn. Bond with a shot. 10 yards out, just over the top. That was my moment.
That was a wonderful opportunity there.
That wouldn't have been dead-eye. That would have been golden-eye if it had gone in.
Terrific chance for Bond. He finds himself in a great area there. He's a midfielder by trade. He's having to play it right back at the moment. Just plays a classic give and go, doesn't he? Plays it into a forward, continues his run. He's on the angle, he's 10 yards out. I think Andy Bond's disappointed here. He doesn't hit the target. Should force Chris Neal to make a save there.
At the very least. But by the way, it was poor defending, because no one went with him.
No.
3 defenders around him, all kind of like, oh yeah, after you, Claude, and nobody kind of went with him to stop him, and he had a shot which flew over the angle of the post and bar on that far side in the end.
Should give Fylde encouragement, that, because you've seen the right back just play a simple give and go, and the Salford player didn't want to track him. He didn't want to go the whole hog. Now that would tell me, if I'm Andy Bond in this auxiliary right back role, every time I get the ball now, I'm going to play it forward, I'm going to make a forward run, I'm going to ask questions of my direct opponent. So that was a positive piece of play. Even though they're disappointed they didn't score at Fylde, that was excellent football.
Tunnicliffe down, getting some treatment at the moment. We've had 2 or 3 stoppages in this first half, so I suppose that the referee will probably add on 2 or 3 minutes, but it just seemed like he went up for the ball and maybe just landed awkwardly or got an elbow in the nose. Yeah,
it's a stray arm from the goal scorer DSR8 on Jordan Tunnicliffe. He's a big, strong centre half.
Above his eye,
he's got a black eye, hasn't he? Maybe there's a little cut there. I think you can see it's puffed up a little bit around the eye socket. Not ideal if you're a centre half that has to go and make headers. He's a real handful, DSR8. Seeing a replay of the goal on our monitor as we speak, and it was so close to being onside. I think he is just onside. It's a really close one.
Should we have VAR today or not? We're not having it in any of the EFL playoff finals, let me say. But should we have it today?
I think you've got the technology, and Wembley's got the technology. Yeah, it's easy. You've got the technology here. Yeah, you've got the TV people here.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Do you basically answer your question yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm working my way up to it.
Crikey.
All right.
Politician or what?
Yes, they should have VAR. It doesn't really matter. I don't think that it hasn't been used in the competition thus far. No. If it's available for a game of this magnitude, you don't want a wrong decision to cost a club a place in the EFL, do you? That would be outrageous, really. But I think the linesman just about got it right. Just looking at who it was that played on Salford player, I think it might have been Dan Bradley who was just caught daydreaming.
We're seeing here Tunnicliffe being given the old Terry Butcher bandage. For those who don't remember, Terry Butcher, former England captain, he played an international match and he got so battered it was blood stained everywhere, and he had this white bandage around his head. But in view of what happened with Jan Vertonghen 2 weeks ago in the game between Spurs and Ajax, and in view of Mo Salah last week at Newcastle when he got a head injury, I mean, all right, there's no way that Tunnicliffe has been concussed. We know that because we've been watching. But should players carry on when they've had a head injury?
Yeah, because it's not. If you're concussed, clearly you should not carry on. If there's any element of doubt, if a player
this is going to affect his eyesight, isn't it, to a certain extent?
No, I don't think so. It's above his eye. Players get cuts. Players get knocks. They get broken noses. They get
broken nose.
Yeah, I've had broken nose. A little bit wonky.
Oh yeah.
Nothing you can really do about it. No, I think there's no problem. Absolutely no problem with Tunnicliffe carrying on here. He's just got a cut eye, maybe a bit of a bruised eye socket. The problem is he's a big centre-half, and he's up against a real handful in Desiree, and he's going to have to win a lot of headers here this afternoon, and that will be sore. I hope the padding around his eye is decent from the file physio.
Seems to have enough of it. I mean,
yeah, it's plenty of it, isn't it?
Yeah. I only broke my arm once. I tripped over a lawnmower.
As you do.
Well,
I knew it wouldn't be a sporting injury.
Okay. Can't all have been very good at football. Anyway, we're back underway after that hiatus of about 5 minutes. Well, it wasn't 5, about 3 or 4 minutes actually, while Tunnicliffe was being attended to.
Well, it isn't going well, is it, for Fylde? You think that one player off, you got your centre half who's battered and bruised, and you're one down. It's not been great for them so far. No,
but there again, as the words of the song, things can only get better. And Pierre-Louis Girani heads the ball towards the halfway line, gets another head of the big tall man at the back for Salford, and Fylde pick the ball up now in the centre circle and come away through Horton, who goes down under a challenge. Referee will give a free kick, and once again Fylde are coming forward. And to be fair, actually, in terms of possession, although Salford had that good spell in and around the time when they scored the goal, Fylde have had probably more of the ball in the Salford half.
Yeah, they've had their moments in this game. They're certainly not playing poorly. They're causing problems down that spine of the pitch, aren't they? I think Maynard's mobility hasn't been great so far. Here again, his direct opponent, the sub Horton, has looked very lively. He's got a good turn of pace. He's happy to run with the ball. He's gone past Maynard. Maynard's committed the foul, and this is again in Danny Rowe territory. It's 30 yards.
Anywhere in the southeast of England's in Danny Rowe territory. It's dead centre. It's 35 yards out, at least 35 yards out, I would say. Referee's just walking 10 yards back. He's got the wall lined up on the edge of the D there or thereabouts, so yeah, we'll give it 35 yards. Rowe stepping up, right-footed, straight into the wall again. But Adrian's quite happy for him to still have pops at goal whenever he wants. Fylde do so, the ball inside the penalty area, good shot as well, charged down brilliantly. I think it might well have been Redmond who charged it down, but it was really well charged down. But come on, Danny Rowe now has had 2 free kicks in dangerous positions, and frustratingly, I think, from a Fylde point of view, has not gone any further than the wall.
He'll be frustrated as well. Yeah, when you get.
I mean, all joking apart.
No, when you get direct free kicks, you should be missing out the wall. You really should. And you
don't see Lionel Messi hitting the ball, do you?
Oh, sometimes you do. Even the best do it. Yeah, of course they do. It's not as easy as you think, especially if you've got a load of 6-footers lined up 10 yards away. It's not as easy as you would imagine. But I think it was Mafuta who made the block for Salford City from the follow-up. Again, it was Horton wriggling his way into the box, looking to get his shot away. Fylde are very much in this game. I think that they look dangerous, don't they, in and around the final third?
They do. I can't see us finishing 1-0, famous last words, but I do think there are more goals in the game. And as you rightly say, Nick Horton, who's just given away a free kick there, has impressed since coming on as a substitute early on in the game for Luke Burke. Talksport 2, 39 minutes gone. AFC Fylde 0, Salford City 1. Half-time, Adrian and Russ Williams will be dissecting the first half, and the one goal we've seen so far, Desiree on quarter of an hour, really capitalised. It was an opportunist goal. It was the old fox in the box, I suspect.
Stayed calm, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And he took it well. Goalkeeper did his best. I think got a flick of a foot to it, but couldn't keep it out. This free kick from Salford from halfway, hoisted forward again. The big man up from the back, Pierre Gianni. He's not afraid to get himself in the penalty area, is he?
No, well, he was the only target, wasn't he? You can see the way they lined it up. He was the guy that they were going to clip it to. Sometimes there's just not much you can do about it. You've got to think, right, we're not going to win that header because Pierre Gianni has got a real leap on him. We'll just make sure that we mop up the second ball, and they did that.
Pond beaten again by Rowe, maybe a little shove, played back towards Rowe on this near side, but some really good defending, and Salford City will come away with Toure, from the left back position, just gets the ball into the Fylde half. Fylde captain Neil Byrne now to Tunnicliffe, who's easily spotted with that great big bandage around his head. And once again, AFC Fylde can come forward into the Salford half. You listen to Talksport 2 on a lovely sunny afternoon now in northwest London. Wembley, of course, next week. I suspect we'll have a few more people inside it for the game live on Talksport. which is of course the FA Cup final between Manchester City, who may be going for the double, and Watford. So it'll be yellow here again next week.
It will, yeah, and you've got non-league finals day as well.
Non-league finals day. Don't forget that Fylde are back here next Sunday as the ball's lifted inside the penalty area. Maybe we'll discuss as the game goes on what today will have in terms of psychological on them next week, because they're up against Leyton Orient in the trophy final, and basically the double's on the line certainly for Leyton Orient right now, and if Fylde win today, for them as well. Here's Horton, the substitute, midway inside the Salford City half on this near side. That's the right attacking side as Fylde looking out towards Bond. Bond returns the ball in field again. Here's Horton twisting and turning. He's got Crosdale nearest to him, who now does get the ball, plays it out to Bond again on this near side. Bond down the line. Good possession play by Fylde. Bradley lays the ball off. Now it's played out towards the far side of Francis Angle. In towards Rowe. Rowe just drifting outside the penalty on that left-hand side. No more than 15 yards out from the byline. Decent cross as well. It needed a header from Toure on the near side, but it's only fallen as far as, once again, Bond plays it back inside. Neat one as well. Cross down a shot, just wide.
Oh, that was a good effort. That was a lovely piece of play from Ryan Crosdale. Just lets the ball run across his body.
He was trying to curl it in that corner.
It was gorgeous, wasn't it? He got good shape on the strike. Very confident play. I always like that. Central midfielders confident enough to let the ball run across their body. You see what he's doing. He's looking to whip it into that far corner around red shirted bodies, and in truth he's probably a couple of yards away in the end.
They looked nearer from we were than on the TV replay. Adrian Clark alongside me, by the way, played for Arsenal, England schoolboys, England youth level. Came on once for David Beckham, he was telling me before the game. Yeah. And of course he played here for Stevenage.
I did, yeah. Well, it was actually the final was at Villa Park.
Oh, it was
for
Villa
Stevenage,
Park,
yeah. It was when the stadium was being built. But yeah, I played in the National League for many years for Stevenage, from Margate, and
they're called Stevenage Borough at the time, weren't they?
They were, and it was good times, let me tell you. Yeah, I really enjoyed playing in the National League.
Who was your manager at the time?
Paul Fairclough was the main manager.
The legend down
here. Stevenage, and Margate was Chris Kinnear, excellent, really successful gaffer.
Sad to see him let go by Dover this year, Chris Kinnear. Been there for a long time. I remember when I started my broadcasting career 28 years ago, I was doing commentaries on Dover Athletic, and Chris Kinnear was the manager then. He did leave to have a spell somewhere else, but I think he did something like 1,000 games.
Oh yeah, fast
in charge of Dover Athletic.
His knowledge of players was incredible. He knew about every player in non-league football. Yeah, good guy.
Nothing against Andy Hessenthaler, who took over, and to be fair, they were bottom, and Hessenthaler managed to steer them to safety. We're not missing anything as the ball is just lumped from the far side over the top of the goal. It'll be a goal kick. I mean, the National League this season I think has been brilliant. I mean, I remember seeing Solihull Moors and Tim Flowers, and I on non-league day I went to see Harrogate. Actually, they played Dover. It's first game in charge for Hesse, and I've got to say I was very impressed with Harrogate as well. I've had a very good season.
A lot of clubs have made big strides in recent years, and you just rattled off several. Solihull Moors, of course, and Harrogate Town. Solihull finished second, remember. They missed out on the Wembley place, losing in the playoffs. So no, it's always been a strong league, and more and more teams are full-time professional now as well.
Eastleigh next season I think will be ones to watch out for. Very nearly made it here, Eastleigh. And what about the two teams that have gone down? Yeovil and Notts County. I wonder how they'll react to life in the National League as we enter the last couple of minutes of normal time. The ball is won back by Salford City midway inside their own half, played up towards Whitehead, who does well on the halfway line, just hold up play. Toure now can move over the halfway line and into the Fylde half. He's right by this near touchline, and as soon as the challenge comes in, he's going to win a throw. And I think Salford are now, they've been playing for 1-0 for half time for probably the last 10 minutes.
Yes, a slight lack of movement. I've got to say, early on we saw the likes of Whitehead and Redmond getting into those pockets between the lines. I think Fylde have got to grips with that, and that stopped. He's looking a bit more isolated now, isn't he, dear Sir?
Yeah. Are you suspecting that they're playing now for we have 1-0, let's hold that as long as we can?
No.
You don't think so?
But I think they're looking up at the big clock at both ends of the pitch here, and they've seen 44 minutes, and they're thinking, right, let's just get ourselves into half-time 1-0 up, and we'll go again in the second half.
Would you be, if you were tall, Graham Alexander, would you be thinking of maybe Rory Gaffney at any point?
Possibly. I mean, Desiree might run himself into the ground. He's playing that lone striker's role. It's big picture Wembley, energy sapping, big occasion. He might blow up at some stage. I mean, Rory Gaffney, 11 goals this season. He'd be the ideal guy to come on.
Saw him score early in the season when Salford City won 3-1 at Barnet, and Barnet changed their manager as well this year. The board's gone up at the extra time. 5 minutes, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll go. I must admit.
Sunshine, unfortunately, was shining right at the board. Here's Salford City anyway. We'll get confirmation. I think it is 5 added minutes. As they thought they won a free kick. Whitehead went down. Nothing given. So Fylde can now come away down the left-hand side. Midway already inside the Salford City half. Good battle over on that far side. And in the end, it was very well done.
Mafuta.
He's done well, actually, Mafuta.
Yeah, he's a no-frills midfielder. Every team needs that guy, don't they? In midfield, the ball winner. They don't do the glamorous work, but he's strong.
He's not going to go past 3 people and stick in the top corner from 25 yards.
We chatted, didn't we, to Danny Webber, former Man United player, former Salford player, ahead of kick-off, and he was saying that Mafuta is that. He's that grafter. He's the hog carrier. He's the one that will win the ball back and give it to other people. And we saw a great example of that there. He tracked back into the right back slot and won the ball for his side. Terrific stuff. And he's made a couple of good blocks as well in this first period.
Salford certainly trying to take every opportunity to run down the clock. I've got a free kick on that far side. Mafuta was actually fouled in the end. And Chris Neal has had to go across and get the ball. And now he's got it, I would say, almost midway inside his own half. He'll drive it long into the bright sunshine on the far side. Tunnicliffe wins the initial header for Fylde, but it's picked up again by Wiseman first of all. And now Salford City inside the penalty area. Can they get the ball across? They can, and really well headed away. And it needed to be headed away as well by the fullback on the near side, because I think that had that have gone probably, 2 or 3 yards more towards the penalty spot. Yeah. Great opportunity for Salford, but here come Fylde again with Bond, who was the man.
Bond, yeah, it was Bond who made the clearance,
away.
From the opposition right back, Wiseman, who has got forward pretty well, I have to say, in this first half. Right wing back, they got a wing back system. Salford City. It's fascinatingly poised because Fylde are creating chances here, and you do feel that they've got more bodies in forward areas than Salford. Certainly
have. Here's Reid now running towards the edge of the area. Now Pond needs to be careful here because he's been booked already, but he does well actually. Gets the ball off Reid and finds Piergiani, who clears it up towards halfway, but they're not really keeping the ball, Salford, and they're just inviting more and more pressure onto them.
What I would consider potentially is maybe bringing off one of those attacking midfielders for Gaffney and going with 2 up front, where you've got 2 players that can hold the ball. Just give you that escape route, that out ball from defence. At the moment, Desiree, who's done well, he's very isolated.
Bradley with the ball inside the penalty area. Goalkeeper Neal goes up well alongside Alex Reid. Catches the ball, takes it down, gets a nice round of applause from the Salford fans who are behind Chris Neal's goal. And he bounced it a couple of times, looks at his boots. Yep, they're still fine, don't worry, they're still there. And now he'll clear right-footed downfield as far as he can. We played for just over 3 minutes of the added period. Here comes Salford again with Whitehead towards the edge of the penalty, but straight away loses the ball. And for me, that's been the one thing Graham Alexander will be really disappointed with, I think, from the first half. His team are winning 1-0, so they'll be more than happy with that. But they just haven't really held on to the ball long enough to bar the goal, really, and maybe a couple of efforts after that to really put any serious pressure on Fylde.
Yeah, well, what we saw there was
if you didn't know the score now, you think Fylde winning 1-0?
No, you probably would. What we saw there with one of those attacking midfielders, the 2 in behind the striker, as Whitehead picks it up on the left-hand side. He looks up. There's no one apart from the centre forward who's blocked off. So all he can do is run with the ball, travel with it.
And that's why he loses it.
And then in the end, he went down a blind alley. Need a bit more options for the man on the ball, Salford City.
Certainly do. Crosdale losing out this time for Fylde, and Hogan will play it long up towards the halfway line for Salford, laid off by Desiree, the goal scorer. Mafuta. Hogan again, this time drives the ball from the right hand side to the left. Toure misjudged it, I think, in the sun, and the ball out of play for a throw for Fylde that Rowe has taken 5 yards from the halfway line. Listening to Talksport 2, we're into the 5th added minute at the end of this first half in the National League playoff final. AFC Fylde 0, Salford City 1. Don't forget, the winners will play in League 2 next season. Quite amazing. They'll go to places like Plymouth
Yeah, no, fantastic achievement, because the journey has not been long.
No.
Salford City, 5 years since the ownership takeover with the class of 92.
If Salford get promoted, they have a local derby with Oldham.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely brilliant for them. For AFC Fylde, of course, on that Fylde coast, you've got Fleetwood there, Blackpool, be some great rivalries, even though those two clubs play in League One. But yeah, and their journey, I think, only really began 11, 12 years ago when they changed names.
Well, ball one now in the middle of the park. Suddenly, 4 players coming forward for Salford City. Not forward very quickly, though, it has to be said. And in the end, it was a terrible pass towards the far side of Fylde. Once again, pick play up in the middle of the park. Crosdale now. He's got outside in Rowe. Rowe on this near touchline. It's the right-hand side. We're into the final of 6 added minutes at the end of this first half. The ball in from Rowe is easily dealt with and headed away by Hogan. And now Salford again give it away. This time it's inside their own half to Bond. Bond in the middle of the park to Horton, the substitute. Plays the ball out wide to Francis Angle. It comes in from that right-hand touchline. This will be a great time for Fylde to get level if they could. Bradley. Again losing possession though, and Tunnicliffe will pick it up on the halfway line. Every time Salford do get the ball, do win a challenge, they give the ball away. They haven't got long now to hang on to the end of this first half, and then Graham Alexander can rally his troops, and so too can Dave Challoner. His team arguably played the better football, but are going to go into half-time trailing by a goal to nil, because the referee, James Oldham, has decided that is enough. The goal by Diasure a quarter of an hour is the one that separates these two sides. It was a moment of opportunism from him after a free kick. It wasn't best played in by Redmond, was cleared by Fylde. So half-time in the sunshine at Wembley Russ. Salford City have their nose in front, but I'm not sure which dressing room I'd be happier, because Fylde are playing the better football. Half-time on Talksport 2, AFC Fylde 0, Salford City 1. Beautiful sunny afternoon at Wembley. We've just kicked off 15 seconds or so inside the second half, and it's AFC Fylde 0, Salford City 1 here on Talksport 2. One of these teams potentially 45 minutes away from being promoted to the EFL and League 2 for next season, and what an achievement for either club who make it. One of these will today. You'll hear it live here on Talksport 2. At the moment, Salford City with that goal from Diasure on 15 minutes have the advantage, but here's Francis Angle coming forward now for Fylde down the left-hand side in the sunshine. Back for Horton, the substitute, coming on very early for Luke Burke. Still Horton goes. Oh, he's brought down. Is he on the edge of the penalty area? Referee had a look, but said no, it was a fair challenge. And to be fair, the Fylde players didn't exactly go up to him and say, listen, why didn't we get a free kick? And the chance for Salford City to come forward with the goal scorer, Diasure, but he sort of runs down a blind alley in the end, and it's won back by Fylde, who clear their lines. Adrian Clark is alongside me. Clarkey, I got the distinct impression longer the first half went on, Salford are taking the view of what we have, we hold. Yeah,
I can get a sense of that too. They've started this half on the front foot though. I have to say, Diasure travelling well with the ball there.
Here's the opportunity. Edge of the penalty area. Can't just work the shot with an angle. Now here's Whitehead. His shot is blocked. Mafuta was who came forward. Now they work it out again towards the near side and the left plate. He would have had it. Oh, near post, just flashing wide. It was Wiseman's ball in. It was whipped in with real pace, and it was a diving header at the near post by the goal scorer Diasure, and it just flashed past. From our angle, it looked really close.
It's great football from Salford City. Wiseman, it is the right back who's got forward excellently in this game. He delivers a peach of a ball, and the goal scorer Diasure gets ahead of his man at the near stick. He just can't quite steer the header inside that near post. The connection is outstanding, but not the direction.
Goalkeeper had absolutely no chance if that was on target.
Oh, it was powerful, wasn't it? It was one of the cleanest headers you could wish to see. It was a diving header at the near post. But yeah, good start from Salford City, who had really laboured, hadn't they, towards the end of that first period.
We need them to really come out to make a game of it. I know that it sounds really weird when they lead 1-0, but towards the end of the half they were just allowing Fylde to have the ball, and the chances that Fylde were having, you felt it was only a matter of time until Dave Challoner's side got back into the game and maybe on level terms. What do you think either manager would have said at half time?
Well, I think that Graham Alexander would have urged his midfielders to support the front man a bit more, Diasure, who is very isolated. And I think Challoner would be same again, boys. We're creating chances here.
Here they are. Francis Angle inside the penalty area, right on the edge of the box. First shot is blocked. In the end, it was an outstretched boot, I think, from Piergiani that got it clear, and then there was a foul on that far side.
Yeah, we talked about VAR, didn't we, in the first half? It's not in use here today. On our monitors, it looked like he was level for the goal.
Oh, you're not still banging on about that?
I've looked at it on a big screen at half time, and I tell you what, I think if the linesman has a chance to see what I saw, I mean, it's just a fraction offside. So I hope that's not the only goal of the game, because there will be an element of controversy about it. I don't think Dave Challoner will be happy when he sees the replay. No, I don't think he'll be happy.
If you're listening at home, he's been banging on about that for the whole of the half time. Went for a coffee, went to get a sandwich. He's still going on. Anyone who will listen in the press room about it being
I'm turning to the Neil
offside.
Warnock, can't I? Bashing the referees and linesmen.
You got a tractor? Neil's got a tractor.
No, I don't have a tractor.
Salford have the ball with their goalkeeper Chris Neal, who is now in the sunshine. The sunshine has moved. It was 3/4 of the pitch that was bathed in sunshine during the first half. It's now moved. I mean, obviously the sun moves. I mean, there's nothing great in that. I'm not revealing anything scientific that nobody else has done before. And now it only covers half the pitch. What are you laughing at?
Educational, mate. This commentary alongside you is you continue.
I promise you learn something new every day.
This near side is fully in shade, isn't it? The half that Salford City are attacking. Notice a lot of the Salford City fans have left their seats and moved to behind the goal, just to maybe take up their usual position, I guess. Yeah, because the ultras have moved away from us. Still, 3/4 of the stadium is actually shut, so you can't get into it, but they have moved to sort of behind the goal, which will look good if they score. Ball hosted in by Hogan from the right-hand side as Salford attack, and they're trying desperately to try and get the second goal if they can. Then it really would be an uphill task, you feel, for Fylde. Ball played in towards the far post, just over the head of Whitehead. He couldn't just get high enough at the far post, just out of play on this side. Will be a foul throw. But that was a difference already. In the first half, that ball comes into the box. There's only Diasure there. On this occasion, there were two players in the box. Whitehead had made the effort to join in with his centre forward, and he almost got on the end of that cross. So I do think that Alexander will have made that tactical tweak at half time.
Here's Tunnicliffe, who in the first half picked up a head injury, so it was more of a sort of cut, like a heavyweight box that he smacked above the eye, and he's therefore wearing a big white bandage around his head, but he's easily to spot in the yellow shirts, black shorts and yellow socks that Fylde are wearing. Salford in red shirts, white shorts and white socks. And if we hadn't already emphasised on a couple of occasions today, the high profile class of 92 owners that are in charge of the club are here, as the big cross comes in. It's punched clear by the goalkeeper. Here's a chance for Whitehead. He couldn't quite take it himself. Shot comes in the end. 15 yards out will be a corner. It did take a deflection, but you did feel there that Maynard probably should have tested the goalkeeper.
Oh, he really should. It's great play, isn't it, from Whitehead, twisting and turning inside the box. But in the end, it's a wonderful block. It really is. I think it's Francis Angel. In the end, Francis Angel, he throws himself in front of the ball.
Shot, I didn't think the shot was going on target.
I think that's a handball there, from Angel. But was it too close? Probably to award the penalty kick.
Every time we see a chance on the TV screen, all we see is Gary Neville, Ryan Giggs, Nicky Butt, David Beckham.
It's going to happen, isn't it?
I mean, everybody's here. I don't know why they didn't play today. Lovely ball into the middle. 2-0 Salford City. Salford City are heading to the National Football League, League 2. It's a good goal. It's headed in by Piergiani. His 10th goal of the season. It was a corner taken short, and it was hoisted up. And they said, basically, you go and head the ball home. And he's done that inside the 6-yard box. Salford City are heading to League 2. They've taken a real stranglehold on this playoff final, because 8 minutes in, it's Fylde 0, Salford City 2 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, he may be a centre-half, Piergiani, but no one in this starting 11 has scored more goals for Salford City this season and here he gets himself into double figures. It's a very straightforward corner. It's a short corner, whipped into the box.
Scored this season.
He attacks it quite magnificently, Piergiani. The power on the header beats the goalkeeper. All ends up Salford City 1 foot in the EFL. That goal is massive.
That goal is enormous, and the Salford fans are chanting, "We are going up, we are going up." And some of the pictures of Gary Neville and Phil Neville and those boys, they can't quite believe that they're going to be in the Football League next season.
No, but they've done a great job, haven't they, in terms of their ownership of the team, the club. They've improved the stadium, the facilities, they've made everything professional, assembled an excellent squad. They're doing what good owners should do. And that winning mentality that they had as players under Sir Alex Ferguson, it's rubbing off, isn't it, on Salford City?
Quite incredible, really, isn't it? Makes you wonder why Solskjaer thought being better at Old Trafford, but there we go. That's a different conversation, probably for a different radio station as well. As the ball's worked out towards the near side, Francis Angle here on Talksport 2. Fylde need a response, and they need it really, really fast. And you wonder now as well, Graham Alexander, 2-0 really is known as being the most dangerous lead to have in football. They don't want to sit back, do they? They want to carry on the really good start they made to the second half.
I think so, yeah. I think front foot style suits them. They really laboured towards the end of the first half when they sat back and played cautiously. What they've done at the start of the second half, just as they did in the first, is they've come out of the traps flying on the front foot. They won that corner. They've had chances. They've won a corner. They earned the corner, and from it, Piergiani, this guy is absolutely lethal.
Change being made. Gus Mafuta has done well this afternoon. He's coming off. Devontae Rodney is coming. 2 Devontaes on the pitch. Spelled differently.
Yeah, he did well, Mafuta. Slightly surprised he's come off, but
maybe Rodney's just maybe they feel that he's given enough, and Rodney now they need.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. Rodney's gone up front to join Diasure, who scored the goal, of course. So as I was saying earlier on in the game, I think a second centre forward will help Salford.
But Whitehead was doing that role anyway.
Yeah, he was joining in better, but it's definitely gone from a 3-4-2-1 to more of a 5-3-2. 3 central midfielders now with 2 up front.
Fylde are going to make a change in a minute as well, as Salford had the ball just in front of their own penalty area. Pond, not quite sure what Pond was doing, but in the end he's beaten 2 or 3 and he's reached the halfway line, and now the ball's played down the near side. First chance for Rodney to try and run on the ball. Diasure must be quite tired as well. He's put a shift in as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, big time, yeah, absolutely.
James Hardy, by the way, the man coming on for Fylde. And it has to be all or nothing right now, really, for them, doesn't it? There's no point in them trying to play their way back into this. They've really got to go all guns blazing, haven't they?
Got to go for it. Yeah, 2-0 down. You don't want to be meek and mild. It's all about taking a risk now, and young James Hardy looks like he's about to come on. I'm sure he'll be a defensive-minded player that makes way. He'll join Danny Rowe. Hasn't really happened, has it, for the guys around? You gave him such
a build-up, Danny Rowe. It's absolutely not happened.
It's not happened for him, but he's still the most likely. Rest assured, he's not going to take him off. He's the man most likely to get Fylde back into this game. Alex Reid has been quiet. Dan Bradley not effective really after a brightish start to the game.
Phyllis Kirk as well. Barely mentioned him.
Yeah, Phyllis Kirk has
hardly mentioned him in the commentary at all.
No, yeah, he's not had that.
Here's Tunnicliffe in front of his own back 4 in the bright yellow shirt of Fylde. So Francis Angle on the halfway line. Down this left-hand side, it's Salford City 2, AFC Fylde 0 here on Talksport 2. Don't forget the football we've still got coming up today. Don't need to move anywhere from the Talksport network when we're finished here with the moment of history for either Salford or AFC Fylde. Talksport has commentary of Derby against Leeds, and after that come back over here to Talksport 2. We've got Sunderland against Portsmouth. As Fylde now the edge of the penalty area. Wild shot really over the top, and I don't know, the body language from me, the minute that shot comes in from Horton, who's been good since coming on, he's in the edge of the D, it's way over and way wide, but his head's down, and I look at a couple of the players and I think to myself, their body language doesn't suggest to me it's come on lads, we can still do this with half an hour to go. And after the week we've just seen in football, why with half an hour to go would you give up?
No, absolutely. I'm sure they're not giving up inside their own heads. It's just that it's a killer blow, that second goal, and they need to come again now. They need to just not feel sorry for themselves. Maybe that's what's happened the last few minutes or so, but they need to pick themselves up and go again. They've got the firepower here. They just haven't tested the goalkeeper, Chris Neal, anywhere near enough, have they, this afternoon? That was a positive change, wasn't it? Alex Reid, it not really happened for him.
Well, he smacked himself on the post in the first 30 seconds.
He did, yeah, and he's been replaced by Hardy.
Just see the replay of the goal again, by the way. I'm not sure what Neil Burns doing, the file captain. I mean, he's let Pierre Gianni just run past him. I mean, you know, we've been saying all afternoon, hey, this guy scores goals.
Yeah.
And he's just let him run past him and basically have a free header.
Got to block him off. If you got danger man as obvious as Pierre Gianni, you got to have a couple around him. You got to have a blocker, I think, to make sure that no matter what happens, that cross doesn't find the head of him, because his track record is just unbelievable. It's frightening, really, for a central defender, and wow, what a goal that might prove to be in the history of Salford City Football Club. He might just have written his name into their folklore.
Tell you what, a lot of people look forward to the fixtures coming out in no more than a month or so's time. Less than that, actually, probably about 3 weeks' time. They'll look at League Two, they'll see the name Salford City. I mean, very much like when Forest Green Rovers got promoted a couple of years ago. It kind of looked weird seeing Forest Green Rovers against Oldham or Forest Green Rovers against Cambridge, you know. Yeah. Salford City against... It's going to look strange, isn't it? It really will.
But it freshens things up nicely. This is what it's all about, the pyramid. I think it's so strong. English football has got a proud tradition of giving teams a chance. There's a pathway, isn't there, to get yourself into the famous 92 or the 72 as it is in the EFL. And yeah, I think it'd be wonderful to have Salford City in there, a club that really, before the current ownership took over, couldn't have dared to dream that this might happen.
An hour gone, AFC 5-0, Salford City 2. Salford on the attack again. Ball with the cross. It's gone in. Salford City will play in League 2 next season. There is no doubt about that. The class of 92 took over at Salford City and wanted to have a plan to get into the Football League. And Touré's third goal means they will play in the Football League. It's 5-0. Salford City 3. And a new team is heading for the EFL, and that team is Salford City.
Game, set and match. Salford, Touré, it's a cross. There's absolutely no way that this is a shot from the left back, but the run is magnificent. He takes on his man on the outside, and I think he's just looking to whip it along the 6-yard box. He whips it all right, but he whips it into the far top corner. It kisses the inside of the post and nestles quite beautifully if you're a Salford City fan.
You don't think he's gone for goal?
No, absolutely not. No, not a chance. But he won't care.
Ask him afterwards.
Yeah, he will not care. Salford City, wow. They're running away with it.
I genuinely thought that was a cross. I said he whizzed it across and suddenly he's gone in. There's no way he's gone for that, has it? I mean, no. That is a fluke. But that's it now. I mean, so what do you do if you're far? I mean, you come out here next Sunday on a retrieval mission against Leyton Orient in the trophy, but for the next half hour this is going to be a cruise. This could be anything now for Salford City.
It could, yeah. They can really enjoy themselves. What a feeling for them. Look, it's half an hour left. I'm sure the message from Alexander will be, we haven't done it yet, don't rest
easy.
Really? No, of course it will be, but really, in truth, what an opportunity for the Salford City players to really enjoy themselves on the hallowed Wembley turf. 3-0 up, supporters absolutely loving life here in the stands, giving them wonderful support. It doesn't get a lot better than this if you're a footballer. That feeling that we've done it, we're going to do this, is just magical. It really is, after all those months of hard work. So yeah, as for Fylde, they've got to play for pride here. They've got to try and sum up the energy to fight back, to show their fans that they've not given up the ghost. I can't think about next week yet.
Ross Williams having a laugh with me on Twitter just now. Direct message me. No pressure, but we want Beckham on at the end. Okay. I'll get both Nevilles as well. Thank you, see.
You not got his number?
Bex.
Disappointed, isn't it?
We speak on Instagram.
Does he follow you?
Everyone follows me. Silly question. Follow me, of course he does. Salford City lead 3-0, and to be fair, they are enjoying the afternoon now as much as we are, because they know that there really is no comeback. I mean, Fylde have not looked as good in the second half as they did in the first, and even then Chris Neal only had one save to make, probably, from Crosdale, that shot. Horton gives the ball away, or it's one back, and every Salford player now is playing with a bit of a swagger to them, really, if the truth be told, and they probably can't wait for the next 27 minutes to fly by, get the trophy, and then wait for the, I think, the 9th of June. Oh yeah,
what a party.
Oh yeah, that will be some party.
Yeah, it's because knowing who the owners are, there might be funds might be made available for the party of all parties for the Salford City players, and it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of these supporters were involved in it, because it's a small community club. It'll go on all night for sure in Salford.
Graham Alexander will want to keep a clean sheet. Francis Angle inside the box. Cross is deflected, headed up in the air. Salford struggling a little bit to clear their lines. Not that it really matters, if the truth be told. I mean, they're going to have to fall apart in some spectacular way here to throw this away. 65 gone on Talksport 2. It's 3-0 to Salford City. 1-0 up at the break. Diasure in the first half, and then I think the header really from Piergiani killed off Fylde. They looked probably beaten after that.
Yeah.
And Touré's cross-come shot. It wasn't even.
What a sweet moment for Touré, though.
Ball into the middle for Fylde, and swing and a miss from the substitute Hardy. Banged up towards halfway. Vente Rodney, who's come on, tries to hold it up, beaten to the ball though, and Fylde come away with it again. But, there's no. You look at the Fylde players. Look at the way they're playing right now. There is no. You don't get any kind of confidence that they believe anymore.
You don't, actually. No, I think you bang on there, Moose. It's they're dejected, and I feel their pain, but they've got to summon up reserves from this kind of position. They've got to give their fans something to believe in here, to give themselves something to believe in.
What will this do for them for next week, by the way, as they come forward towards the edge of the penalty
area? It should give them extra determination.
Francis Angle tries to take on his man, gets the cross in, couple of ricochets, ball comes out to about 6 yards out. Reed is twisting and turning, and then he's forced back, and that was really actually good play by Salford, because they got the ball. They've conceded a corner actually, but they did manage to get the ball at one stage right to the edge of the penalty area.
What they have done, they have defended well. It hasn't been pretty defending from Salford at times, but Hogan, Piergiani, the goal scoring hero, these guys have defended for their lives. Nathan Pond, a bit gangly, he's a Fleetwood legend, we know that, but he's been effective today, brave as well.
Absolutely. Ball comes in, the header is flicked on at the near post, but towards the far post. There, look, Russell's got in touch again. See, from the bravery of the studio, you can put that, can't you? You two are brave at 3-0 in a week of monumental comebacks. Listen, lightning might strike once, never strikes really twice, but it won't strike 3 times, Russ. You know better than that.
Is it Russ or is it Russell? I don't think you don't need to be going down that route again.
Apparently only his mother calls him Russell. Which
I think you need to show a bit more respect.
No, I've always thought that showing respect was calling him Russell. I'm
not sure he agrees. Player down at the moment, but this is just one of those moments. A little bit of refueling going on board, particularly from the Fylde players. Dave Challoner.
What do you say now if you're Dave Challoner and you're really out?
Well, he's not actually saying anything. He's got hands in his pockets. He's not actually in any kind of dialogue with his players. He's probably a bit shell-shocked himself, Dave Challoner, at the moment. He's disappointed. His team, I thought, played okay in the first half. They had their moments. They were good up until the penalty box, weren't they? And then the final ball was poor from them. Second half, they've been blown away, and he'll be, I think, partly angry at the way his players have underperformed, but his overriding emotion, I think, will be he'll be feeling flat himself, and I think that the players right now, you're looking at them in the yellow and black shirts, they look flat as well.
David Beckham's texting. I wonder he's texting Victoria. Hey Vix, next season, guess who's Salford are going to be playing? They're going to Cambridge.
Yeah. Don't expect me home. No, you know that text me. Don't expect me home till late.
I know.
Yeah, I'm staying out. That'll be there. I'm out. That's what he'll be saying.
Danny Whitehead's coming off and Mark Shelton's coming on. Second change of the second half already for Salford City. Phil Neville's texting as well. It's quite difficult, really, isn't it, now, because you kind of know the score, you know who's won, and you just want the next 22 minutes to go whoosh.
Yeah, you're determined to tempt fate, aren't you, here, Bruce? We don't know who's won.
I do know who's won. I promised you, live on Talksport 2 with 20 minutes to go, and Salford winning 3-0, I know who's won.
Look, it will
I promise you, I know
it'll be even more spectacular than Tottenham.
I was in Amsterdam.
Yeah, it will be more spectacular than that amazing comeback. So now, looking at the body language of Fylde players, they look a beaten side. Salford are in cloud cuckoo land. They are absolutely loving it. And they've played so well in this second half. First 20 minutes of the first half, excellent. Then they sat off. First 20 minutes of the second half, outstanding. What will they do now?
Well, they may as well cruise. I mean, they may as well have the old proverbial cigar on, because, and they could have got another, by the way. Desiree's header before the second goal, and this could be even more.
He's been terrific, Desiree, up front. He's obviously got a partner now in Rodney, and
don't forget all this without Adam Rooney, their top scorer. I mean, you can imagine if Adam Rooney had been fit, then really this could have been embarrassing. But you know, Wembley is a place for heroes and not a place for those who lose. And Fylde will come back next week. I've seen Justin Lindbergh, the Leyton Orient managers here. They'll be looking for the double next Sunday on finals day.
Yeah.
Talking about finals, tomorrow over on Talksport, who's your money on for the Premier League title, City or Liverpool? Talksport 2 with live commentary from, I was going to call it White Hart Lane, but people at Spurs hate it when you do that. So the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Russ Williams, and I think supports Spurs, will be hosting from there. I'm down at Brighton for the game with Man City. Playoffs continue tomorrow as well with the game between Mansfield and Newport, second leg of that live.
Yeah, I'm on commentary duty for that one. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Field Mill?
I am.
Never been to Field Mill. Shot from distance! Just goes wide. In fact, Chris Neal, I think, got a touch, or maybe got a flick off Pierre Gianni. It was a decent shot as well from distance. I think it was Philliskirk who had the effort.
Yeah, it was Philliskirk.
25 yards out.
Raking drive, wasn't it? Look, they're plodding away there. They're trying to get themselves a goal here. Yeah.
Corner's easily caught, though, by Neal, who just took a bit of a clatter from his own defender.
Yeah, it was a great claim. He's done that 2 or 3 times in this match, Chris Neal. He hasn't really had a save of note to make,
has he, Chris
Neal? Yeah, but it wasn't a truly difficult save. But he has impressed me coming out to claim crosses, and they look like they're in safe hands with him between the sticks. Salford City, who their hearts just must be racing right now. They're just minutes away now, 20 minutes or so away from becoming an EFL club, one of the famous 92.
I mean, just imagine the pressure on Graham Alley. I mean, I know Graham well. The pressure on in this season. You know, you're hired by the legends that are from Manchester United, charged by them with getting. It's like, I don't know, it's like being asked to look after somebody famous' babysit them. Do you know what I mean? You've got to get the job done.
Yeah, pressure was on his shoulders. The budget was high, of course. Threw money at it, and he took over from 2 really popular guys, didn't he? The joint managers, Bernard Morley and Anthony Johnson. Not easy boots to fill, but look, as it stands, he's getting the job done. And you have to say, it's a genius piece of recruitment.
Certainly is. Here's Rodney, chesting the ball down, decent cross into the middle. Little Burn, 6 yards out, has chested it back to his goal. I hate to see that.
That's cool.
I can't wait for the day someone chests it past their own goalkeeper.
Yeah, that was calm.
To be fair, Jay Lynch can't have done anything with the 3 goals.
No, and he's an excellent keeper as well. He's been brilliant for Fylde this season. No, that was just calm defending. But they don't want to be defending, do they? They want to be inside the half. At the other end of the pitch, this is where they are now. Horton, who's continuing to buzz around, isn't he? Playing more of a central role second half.
Certainly is. Ball on that far side. That's the right-hand side as Fylde look to attack. It's midway inside their half. We played 73 minutes nearly, and it's AFC Fylde 0, Salford City 3. The cross is long, and just the longer this goes on, really, you just feel like if the referee offered now, both teams, you fancy calling it off, boys. They would, wouldn't they? In cricket, with half an hour to go, and you know the result.
Yeah, this isn't cricket.
I know it's not cricket. You told me earlier it wasn't golf. I know, I'm watching.
You must have covered Istanbul.
I know what I'm watching. Listen, you, Russ Williams, I don't care. Everybody in the whole world can now tell me.
I don't think you're being the most brave here, giving it the big and that it's definitely over. Of course, they are overworked. Bookies wouldn't take odds on this, Moose. But this is football. And if Fylde get one, and then if they get 2 in 3 minutes, like Spurs did in Amsterdam, things could suddenly get interesting.
Tom Crawford's coming on now for Fylde. Their final change. Alex Bond is going off, so all my ideas of trying to get a decent Bond represent.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it's a great loss.
No. To be fair, he had a decent first half, but I barely mentioned him second half. Crawford's on for him, and probably that's just a change to let someone have a feel of the Wembley turf ahead of next week. Fylde will be back, of course, for the FA Trophy final against Leyton Orient, who are already in League 2 for next season. They won the National League, and congratulations to Justin Edinburgh and everybody down at Brisbane Road.
Oh yeah, absolutely brilliant to see them back in the EFL. Great club, Leyton Orient, and he's a good manager, isn't he, Justin Edinburgh?
Oh, he did brilliant, didn't he? He did brilliant at Braintree and then Newport.
He's been successful pretty much everywhere he's been.
I mean, there again, I could run through a list of managers that have been unlucky at Gillingham and still be here tomorrow morning on the breakfast show doing it. So I won't get into that one. As Fylde come forward again, but snuffed out at the back, and Piergiani doing his defensive way. He's been good today, actually. To be fair, been some really good performances.
They're a strong team, aren't they, Salford? They came into this as a reputation of being functional. They've been a strong, powerful, aggressive, non-league scrapper type.
How well do you think they'll do next season in League 2?
They'll be back. Yeah, I think they'll do fine. They'll be backed, won't they? I think the budget will be good enough to make them competitive. Excellent manager in Alexander. They'll bring in players. They brought in virtually a whole new team ahead of this season. I'm not saying they'll do that again, but there'll be at least 5 or 6 new faces just to strengthen this up. No, I think they'll definitely kick on and probably be top half. Rory Gaffney is about to come on for the final change for Salford City, who are 3-0 up here with a quarter of an hour to go, live on Talksport 2. Me and Adrian Clark have enjoyed this afternoon. The one thing I really didn't want this afternoon, if I'm honest, I said this to you privately, was for this to be decided by a penalty shootout, because I think for one team to win or lose promotion by a penalty, I think it's hideous. Yeah.
And I'm glad that we have actually got the margin of scoreline.
Yeah, there can be no arguments. If it's to stay like this, AFC Fylde will hold their hands up and say, yep, we didn't play particularly well on the day. Salford City deserve to go through, and remember, Salford City did finish above Fylde in the National League. It was only 3 points, I think, so it wasn't a huge discrepancy, but over the course of the campaign they've been slightly better than Fylde, and we've seen that here today. They're a really strong side. At the back, very resolute. In midfield, they've scrapped it out nicely, and then up top, they've had a striker that's been excellent today, Diasure. In the absence of Adam Rooney, I can't praise them enough, because losing him would have been a big psychological blow, but they haven't let it affect them, Salford.
They haven't. 14 minutes ago, Gaffney is preparing to come on. In the meantime, free kick on this near side. It's nearer the halfway line, in truth, than the penalty area. Not quite even halfway inside the Fylde half. It's launched inside the penalty area, goes goalwards as well, and put away for a corner.
Yes, so Milburn just has to defend it at the far post. Almost turns it into his own net there. Keeper did have it covered, but it's that man Piergiani again.
I'm not sure why the keeper just didn't come for it.
That's a difficult ball to come and get. That was a good ball in. Sometimes you've got to say that's a quality ball.
Corner on the far side then. Piergiani has stayed forward. Rodney is in there. Diasure, who scored the first goal, is in there as well. The corner is played towards Piergiani. It's going to be another corner near side, is it? No. It may have come off the Salford man. Out of play for a goal kick. In fact, it was Rodney that headed it wide. And Gaffney's going to come on now. Good hand for the first goal scorer.
Yeah, Diasure is getting a great ovation. Rightly so. He has run his legs off here.
Unlucky not to get a second as well with the header.
He's been a constant menace. He's held the ball up. He's made life an absolute nightmare for the Fylde centre halves. He's bullied them. and he deserves the standing ovation that he's receiving.
Manny Diasure coming off then on the near side, and Rory Gaffney will come on for the last 12 minutes. Also a bit of a favourite amongst the Salford fans. There again, I suppose anybody wearing a Salford shirt right now would get cheered. If I put one on you, you'd get cheered.
Yeah, probably would. Yeah, ex-Bristol Rovers man, isn't he, Gaffney?
Yeah, scored a lot of goals for them.
Yeah. But that's the type of player that Salford City could afford.
That was in the National League.
Yeah, they've offered good wages to these guys to come and play National League football with the dream of going up, and they're going to.
And they're going to maybe with a fourth goal as well, as Rodney goes down the far side. Gaffney's in the middle. A couple lined up in the middle. Cross comes in. Far post. Shelton was coming in. Substitute just come on, but didn't quite reach him, and Fylde will come away with the ball and now cross the halfway line. Salford City lead 3-0 with 11 minutes to go, and the chance of we are going up once again ring around this part of the stadium where the Salford City fans are. Can Fylde get a consolation? The ball is on the far side, almost by the byline. Low ball in towards the near post, and Chris Neal, who's actually looked really, really secure this afternoon. Hasn't looked like he was going to get beaten by anything, and it was a decent ball in, but it was easy enough for Neil.
Yeah, Dan Bradley it was that went down that right hand side. He's a good foil for Danny Rowe, but yeah, it was decent play for him. Excellent handling. His decision making, Chris Neal in Salford's goal today has been first class. He's not made any mistakes at all.
Gaffney, Shelton. How late was that? Devante Rodney has put the ball in the net with an absolutely delicious chip. He was flagged offside, but it was really, really late, wasn't it?
It was a gorgeous little chip, wasn't it? Really confident.
I know. I'd have been proud of a goal like that.
Look, Salford City can feel proud of themselves. They had a big pressure on their shoulders. They've got every away game they've gone to. Home fans have been against them. They've come on under a lot of criticism. They've been the most hated team, and I'm sure it's nothing to do with their behaviour. It's only to do with envy, really, at the funds they've got. But they've been a credit to themselves today and to the club.
Francis Angle towards the edge of the penalty area. Ball laid off into the middle. Hardy, the substitute, with a shot that's blocked. And once again, Salford City can bring the ball away, and they do on this near side. It's lumped forward towards, I thought it was towards Rodney, but it's gone over his head. Gaffney will give chase, but Byrne is there first for Fylde, and will turn and get it back to his goalkeeper, Jay Lynch, who blameless for all three of the goals. The attendance a smidge over 8,000. So there'll always be the argument, should this game be here or should it be somewhere smaller? I mean, the only thing I would say to you is if it had been Leighton or in Wrexham in the final, we'd have had 30,000 here.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on the clubs. These are two new clubs, two small clubs that are still very much in their infancy in terms of building a fan base. They've done well to bring this many supporters here. It's a shame for the atmosphere, I guess, but it means so much to every member of the crowd.
Ball driven in, goal, just wide, hit the side netting. Salford fans are having a go at the Fylde fans because they thought it had gone in. It was a shot very much first time, which clipped the side netting. From where we're looking, it looked like it might have gone in at first, but you could see it just hit the side netting, and obviously the Fylde fans were celebrating a little bit. And
yeah, James Hardy, substitute.
The Salford fans are now just taking the mickey a little bit.
Yeah, they're in party mood, aren't they? Yeah, it was a substitute, Hardy. Nice little square ball from Bradley, and he hits it well enough, but it does hit the side netting, and yeah, you wonder, is that it really from AFC Fylde? I think now time is against them, even though they need to get one back. Any hopes of some kind of miraculous recovery are over now.
You won't let this go, will you?
No.
You're absolutely convinced in a week of comebacks there's still something in this game. I don't know, listen, I would like to think so too. It would be very exciting for you and me. However, I don't think so.
No, it's not going to happen.
8 minutes to go. Talksport 2. AFC Fylde 0. Salford City 3. Still to come on this station tonight. Don't forget Sunderland against Portsmouth. Now that was a final here a month ago. Went to penalties that day. Portsmouth winning. Remember, it's 2 legs, so second leg is Thursday at Fratton Park. And then of course we've also got over on Talksport this afternoon, a little later when we finish Derby against Leeds.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a good game, isn't it? Derby against Leeds United. I guess slight advantage to Aston Villa. 2-1 lead to take into the second leg, but the big story for me is Dwight Gale getting sent off.
Yeah.
Going to miss him so much in the second leg, the baggy. So Villa probably starting to, well, they were pretty overwhelming favourites now to progress. Derby Leeds is hard to call. I'm still team Leeds.
Done his homework on Derby?
Not as much homework as the previous time, I would imagine. But yeah, there's a bit of spice to that game, and it's all part of the rich tapestry, isn't it, of football. I love it when there's a little bit of needle.
You'll get me into trouble. You will. I love Leeds fans having a go at me again.
I really like what Lampard's done, but I think Leeds have got the better side.
I think they've blown up. Actually, I saw them against Wigan when they lost 2-1. Game you heard live here on Talksport 2, and they took the lead and couldn't beat 10 men. And since then, their form has pretty much, bar the Villa game, which was a bonkers game in the end, fallen off a cliff. Here's Francis Angle. Talking of 3 goals, that's what Fylde need now. They need them very, very quickly. What was it Brian Clough said? It only takes a second to score a goal. Well, Fylde need 3 goals, and they need to start trying to get one of them now. They haven't really looked this afternoon in the second half anyway like getting a goal. Danny Rowe's been a passenger pretty much in the second half.
Yeah, less influential, that's for sure. He was everywhere in the first half. Yes, his final ball was poor, but he was the hub, wasn't he, of the Fylde side. In the second period, he's been on the periphery. Just looking at Graham Alexander, he's still jumping around his technical area. He's still
you don't have the career he had. Yeah. Just by going 3-0. All right, boys. Yeah.
I played against Alexander. I think when he was at Preston.
Tough man.
Very tough player. Yeah, good player.
Unbelievable penalty taker. I don't think he ever missed. He may have missed one, but I mean he was absolutely clinical from the spot. Won a playoff final here as a player with Burnley. Brilliant goal by Elliott that day, I remember. And he won a playoff final here as a manager previously with Fleetwood as well.
Yeah.
And he's going to do it again today. There's no question about that now. 5 minutes to go on Talksport 2. AFC Fylde 0, Salford City 3. And in about 5 or 6 minutes' time, we will be able to say that the newest member of the Football League family is Salford City. And what a journey, what a story it has been since the class of 92 took over. I think Russ asked me earlier, Russ Williams, the presenter, whether it was a vanity project. Certainly hasn't been.
No.
And you have to say that they put their money where their mouth was.
And their expertise.
To be fair, as well, they did it on TV. I mean, they, from the beginning, invited crews round to follow them everywhere. This wasn't done sort of, behind closed doors. And
no, they put themselves out there to be shot at. They've delivered the goods.
Takes them front, by the way.
Expertise has been. They've used all their knowledge of football, of winning, of creating a successful environment. They've used everything they learned at Manchester United and put it to great use in the non-league game. From where they've come from, Salford City, this is quite amazing. I think it's a phenomenal story.
Not missing much. Salford were just playing with the ball generally in the Fylde half, but they've given it away. Fylde have it back now with Tunney. There is absolutely no urgency. I mean, if this was walking football, then it really wouldn't be much quicker than what we're seeing at the moment. Fylde want to just get out of here as quickly as possible. Francis Angle has tried all afternoon, to give him credit. Down the left-hand side, ball is swung into the far post. Fylde will get another corner, but what we're basically watching here are dying embers of a game.
Yeah, they've run out of ideas, haven't they, Fylde? Just hoisting the ball into the box. Gianni gets something on it. He's been a rock today. I think the 3 centre-halves deserve credit for Salford City today. I think they've all been excellent. Hogan, Gianni, Nathan Pond. They've stuck to their task.
The corner is headed wide, not particularly good header either by Tunnicliffe. And celebrations. Can you imagine the celebrations tonight?
Yeah, I can. They're going to have a great time, aren't they? And it's the culmination of 5 years hard work and ideas. Just putting ideas into practice. I wouldn't
say culmination. I think it starts here now when they're going to football.
They'll say that, of course, but to get to this position, but they'll say that because they're ambitious and they want to go on and on and on. That's the attitude to have, isn't it? But you have to say that as a bookend of their journey in the non-league, this is a moment to savour. They should feel very, very proud of themselves. Gary Neville, Phil Neville, Paul Scholes.
Well, when we say that, you have to say that there have been other teams, Forest Green Rovers recently. I mean, the standout team, of course, are AFC Wimbledon, founded on a Wimbledon Common, and got, goodness knows how many promotions before they got into the Football League. Well done to Wally Downs, keeping them in League One this season. Again, they're not really missing much. Ball is in the foul half. Tunnicliffe square to his defensive partner Byrne, the captain, who runs forward 5 yards, plays it out to his right hand side, but far while having the ball and not really doing much with it. As for Salford City, they just can't wait for the final whistle. Gaffney now wins it back for them, played out towards Shelton on this near side, runs towards the touchline, buys the foul. It was pretty naive really from Crawford. I mean, you could see what Shelton was trying to do. If they had it on his shirt, I'm going to ask you to foul me. He couldn't have done it any better.
No.
It's midway inside the fouled half, and it's exactly what Salford want with a minute and a half.
Of course they do. Yeah, it's good professional play from Shelton. He's looked good actually since he came on. I've also been impressed by the other substitute, Devontae Rodney. He's looked nice and lively, number 21. But yeah, Shelton, very professional, going towards the corner flag, draws the foul, and the interesting thing is here, they're not going to whip the ball into the box. They're going to just play it short and look to keep it.
How long are they going to take the free kick? I bet it's the best part of 2 minutes.
Yeah, they got the two centre forwards ahead of the ball, and that's it.
Lewis Maynard's been named man of the match. Would you have that? I would have probably given it, actually, if I'm honest, Diasure.
Yeah, no, Maynard's been okay. Yeah, I think Diasure, I think, deserves plaudits. Yeah, I think
Wiseman's played well.
Piagiani as well. I think
Lafuta.
Yeah, they've been they're good players all over the pitch. Salford City today. It's actually quite hard to pick one standout guy. It's been more of a team effort. Very solid effort as well. I know they had that reputation as being solid, strong, hard-working, aggressive team, and they have shown all that today, but they've also shown quality. And I think on and off the ball, they've been the better team.
Fourth official very shortly shows how many added minutes. I'd be amazed if it's more than 3 or 4. It is 4. 4 minutes separate Salford City from a place in the Football League. Yes, they've been given money. Yes, they've spent lots of money, but you've got to spend it wisely. You've got to know what you're doing. And in Graham Alexander, Adrian Clark, they have a man who knows what he's doing.
It's not just him, is it? You've got the assistant, Chris Lucchetti, varsity experience,
Carlo Nash,
coach. Chris Casper, another member of Class of 92, by the way, who I've played with as well. Played with all those guys as a kid. And Chris Casper. No. But Chris Casper's a great player as well in his day for Manchester United. He's part of
it's Rodney. Rodney's gone through and lost his footing actually. It was one of the rare occasions actually since he's come on he's been on side. But he lost his footing, slipped over, and we've now had 33 seconds of the 4 added minutes. Yeah,
Chris Casper's the sport director. Goalkeeping coach is Carlo Nash, who you remember, Man City number 2 for a number of years. So they've got professionalism just running through the club, and I think they are ready. I really do, for EFL football, and other teams will not enjoy playing them. They're not an easy side to come up against. Salford City been excellent today, particularly in this second half.
They have been very good, especially in the second half, and they are heading for the Football League. Get ready, Football League. Salford City and all the press that they bring with them and all the headlines that they'll bring with them are heading your way. It's going to be quite a journey for them. They've got to throw on the near side. Their fans have been celebrating for the best part of half an hour now, and they really can pop open the champagne in about 2 minutes time. Rodney has the ball midway inside the fouled half, nearest to us down the left hand side. He twists, he turns, he goes down, doesn't get a free kick. Gaffney gets it back to Skelton. Ball goes out of play. It will be a throw for Salford City, who are in no hurry to do anything right now. This is genuinely walking pace. This is my kind of football.
Dying embers here. All the Salford City fans around us, all on their feet. They're just waiting for that whistle to blow to just confirm their status. It will no longer be as a non-league club. They're going to be a member of the EFL. That is going to sound so fantastic to these supporters that have travelled here in numbers today.
We lost Notts County from the Football League last week when they were relegated, the oldest club in the world. And we're now going to get a brand new team in Salford City who have won a corner, and this will probably be the last action of the game. We played 3 minutes, and I suspect if it takes any less than a minute to take this corner, of which no one is going forward, by the way.
There's absolutely nobody in the box.
If I could just paint the picture, every single Salford player is in the fouled half, but no one is near the penalty area. It's Gaffney and Rodney on the near side by the corner flag, and they're going to keep it here as long as they can and play it off Tunnicliffe for a throw. First goal went in on quarter of an hour. Dear capitalised after some really poor defending from what wasn't the greatest free kick in the world from Redmond to make it 1-0. 1-0 it was at half time. 7 minutes into the second half, Piers Yarni headed in from a corner. It was an unmarked header. He really couldn't miss from around about 4 yards out, and then Toure on the hour mark with a cross-come shot that drifted in via the post and made it 3-0 and made it absolutely safe. Free kick for Salford right on the edge of the penalty area again. There's no hurry to take it. There's nobody in the penalty area to aim for. It's the most bizarre situation. The referee is surely in a moment going to end this football match. Free kick touched back to Gaffney. Gaffney heads straight for the corner flag, and the referee blows the whistle. Salford City are promoted to the Football League. Live here on Talksport 2 this afternoon. They've comprehensively beaten AFC Fylde by 3-0. Beckham, Neville's, Giggs, Scholes, Butt and Graham Alexander are in League 2.
Absolutely fantastic second half performance from Salford City, and you just get the feeling that even though their journey in non-league football has come to an end, it's only just beginning in the EFL, and that there will be more chapters to come. I can see Salford City progressing as an EFL club under the astute ownership of the class of 92. It's been a really, really professional display here beneath the arch at Wembley. 3-0. It's as comfortable as it gets.
For so long, Russ, Manchester has known City, and they've known United, and lower down the pyramid, occasionally they've known the likes of Altrincham and Bolton Wanderers and Oldham and Bury. And now, if you live in the Manchester area, you can throw Salford City in there as well. What an afternoon for the Class of 92's project. What an afternoon for Graham Alexander. And what an afternoon for Salford City Football Club. Promoted to League 2, it finished here, AFC Fylde 0, Salford City 3.